You're watching Amador County's local television network, TSPN. And now TSPN is proud to present Monday with Monique.
Monique. I'm Monique Graziadei, and I have Monique Graziadei, my fabulous daughter. She's home from college on break for the holidays, and I thought, what a better thing to do than you and I cook together. You'll learn a couple super easy recipes. These are guaranteed awesome recipes, tried and true. If you can make an egg or boil water or both, you can make any of these recipes. So they're really that simple. And they're pretty impressive. It's veal Scalo Ppine. We're going to do a Chicken Piccata, and we're also going to do a Chicken Marsala. So we're going to come back and do some cooking. We have a few side dishes with it, and we're going to do it all in a half hour. So stay with us, and we'll be right back.
You're watching Amador County's #1 news and... You're watching Amador County's local television network, TSPN. And now, back to Monday with Monique.
Back with Mondays with Monique. I'm Monique Graziadei and my daughter Monique Graziadei. How are you doing today, sweetie?
I'm doing great. How
Thanks.
are you?
I'm good. I'm so glad to see you. I'm so glad you're home for the holidays, as they say, and that you're going to help me do some cooking. So, you know, my idea was to cook something that you can definitely make for dinner parties because, you know, we have company over a lot during the holidays, and it seems like it's every other night there's something going on. So kind of want to make it simple enough to where you can just have normal groceries in the house and say, okay, I'm going to make this, I'm going to make that, and it goes quickly, and you don't spend more than like a half hour prepping for dinner because you want to hang out with your friends and your family and your guests and that kind of thing. So a couple little quick tricks here is what I want to show you. Number one is that side dishes. Okay, so there's a really great product here, and it's Asian-inspired brown rice with shiitake mushrooms. It is a brown rice that comes in this package. It is fully cooked. So you can take a look at that. It's fully cooked. All you do is microwave it for about 90 seconds, and it truly is delicious, and it tastes like you cooked it yourself, like it's homemade. So I warmed this up already. And then the second dish we're going to do is kind of a cheater dish, but it is really good too. And this is buttery home-style potatoes made by Idahoan. And again, another really, really simple thing. It's 2 cups of water. And this package, you stir it, you put the lid on it, and it's done. So Morgan, get crazy, do this one. The water's boiled, we already did that. So go ahead and add it in, stir it up. Here's a spoon. And when you're done, just put the lid on it. Okay. The third thing that's a side dish that's another really, really easy thing to do is couscous. And couscous is it's a wheat flour. It's it's wonderful, and it's healthy. It has a lot of protein in it. And so it's not kind of like a useless carb type side dish. It's actually beneficial for your health. And it tastes good, and it's light and fluffy, and it goes with so many things. Great job, Morgie. Perfect. So put the lid on there. And then go ahead, let's do the couscous. If you just want to open the package and add it, 2 cups of water again. Easy. Why don't you hand me the olive oil? We'll put a tablespoon of olive oil in here. Enhances the flavor and keeps it from sticking. So there you go. Go ahead, rip that package open. What we're going to make alongside with this, we're actually going to use chicken. We're going to do 3 different chicken dishes. They're all made with the same technique, but the sauces are a little bit different, and that's what switches the flavor around. So you can do all of them or one of them. We're going to do all 3. So here's our couscous. You can see it was a dry grain. Just mix it up in there. The seasoning packet's already in there, which is nice. You know, there's nothing you really have to do to it. We'll probably add salt and pepper and butter to the potatoes right before we serve it, but again, it's just as easy as it can be. If you can boil water, you can make this. So, okay, Morgan, put the lid on that one. Here you go. It's hot. I'm going to make this dish in 3 different pans, the chicken, because there's 3 different sauces, and you utilize the brown bits at the bottom of the pan to create your sauces. So if we put it all in one big pan, we're only going to be able to make one type of sauce, but I want to show you to make a couple of them. So that's why we're doing this. And it's easy. What I did is I went over to Rayleigh's. I got organic, free-range chicken, and it's thinly sliced. So they slice it thin. You can also get chicken breasts, put it in parchment paper, and then take like a rolling pin or a meat tenderizer, and then smash it down to about 1/4 inch in thickness. You can do that too. This is the easy way. Perfect. Simple for me. So what I'm going to do though is on the on the chicken breast, you want to just do a couple little tiny slices around the edge, like maybe they're 1/4 inch going into the chicken, and that's just to keep it from, when you cook chicken, sometimes it'll curl up on the edges and you want it to stay flat. So that's why we're doing that. So it's easy, simple little technique. Salt and pepper. So Morgan, I'm going to have you just salt and pepper these pieces. Can you do that? Okay, I'll bring it to you. There you go. Gotta love this pepper mill. Has a light on it too, so you can see what you're peppering up. And be generous with it. Go over it one more time. Perfect. And then go ahead and salt them up. Kosher salt, regular black pepper. Nothing fancy. Everybody has it at home. Is that enough? That's perfect. Beautiful. And then I put a tablespoon of butter into this pan here. I'm going to put a tablespoon of olive oil. I have it on about medium heat. Can you please hand me a stir, like a spoon? Yeah, that one's good. Thank you. Perfect. So while we kind of incorporate this together, it is hot. The butter's browning, so I'm going to take it off the heat because I don't want it too brown. And what I'm going to do with the chicken is I'm going to just dredge it in flour. And that just kind of gives it, it'll end up being nice and brown when we're done cooking it. Gives it a nice texture. That flour is also incorporated partially in making the sauce, so that flour will help thicken the sauce we're going to make. So I dredged it. Looks just like that. Pretty simple stuff. And we'll put it in the pan. It's going to be hot. We'll go slow. There we go. Can you see that? Perfect. It's looking good. It doesn't take much time at all to cook the chicken when it's cut this thinly. It's maybe a minute or so on each side. So we've got that going. So Morgan, this is going to be veal or chicken scalo ppine. You can do veal also. We just happen to have chicken. And it's about as simple as it gets. It's a little bit of parsley when we're done and a squeeze of lemon. So we're just basically using this browned butter that we have. I'm going to turn it up pretty high because we want to brown the sides of it, and we'll set it aside. And it looks beautiful with the sauce on it, these side dishes. You can make this in minutes at your dorm and impress everybody. They're going to be like, wow, Morgan, she's a great cook. So have you done any cooking in the dorm yet at all?
We made cookies one night in our little kitchenette that we have for the whole dorm to use. And we made eggs and like breakfast foods.
Oh, good, good.
And soup.
Oh, really? I'm impressed. You know, they have the dining hall, so you could choose to just go over there, which is no problem. But it's nice that you can cook some of the things that you like, and, you know, then you're kind of in control of the calories and health benefits, or lack thereof, whatever. So that's looking pretty good here. You can see how it's already browned. It cooked for about a minute on one side. I just flipped it over. It will keep cooking, so I'm just going to take it out, and I'll set it aside for now. That looks marvelous, darling. Okay, so with this sauce, and turn it down so it doesn't get too scorched. All I'm going to do is add a little bit of parsley. Ooh, hot, hot, hot. And why don't you give me a squeeze of lemon there? Careful, it might splatter a little bit. Keep going. Big squeeze. Perfect, that's good. Okay. How about, let's take mashed potatoes. Grab a scoop of mashed potatoes and just put it on one corner. Perfect.
More?
Nope, that's good. That's great, just like that. I'll do that. A tiny bit of butter here. Gotta have a little butter and mashed potatoes. That's the best part. And then we'll go ahead and put our chicken on there. That's chicken scalo ppine. A little bit of parsley. We'll go ahead and put a little bit of the sauce over the top, like that. Squeeze of lemon juice, a fresh one. And there you have it. That's as easy as it gets. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back, and we'll cook up a couple other variations of this chicken dish. So stay with us. We'll be right back.
Your television network, TSPN. And now back to Monday with Monique.
welcome back to Mondays with Monique. So we just got done cooking up the little chicken Scalo Ppine. You can do chicken or veal, either way, same cooking time, they're the same thickness. And we're going to do the second version of that. So it's basically taken chicken Scalo Ppine and we're going to create a sauce called Piccata sauce, which is a lemon and caper sauce. And again, you can boil water or fry an egg. You can do this. It's really, really simple. We have a tablespoon of butter, a tablespoon of olive oil here in the pan. On this one, I'm going to go a little bit lower heat because we want to cook the sauce a little longer, so we don't want it to get too brown. So we're kind of like it, I'm going to say, pretty low heat right here. And same thing, Morgan has already salted and peppered the chicken, so I'm going to dredge it in flour. Like this. You can use a plate, you can use a bowl, doesn't really matter. Just make sure you cover it with flour, like so. And then here it goes, into the pan. About 1.5 minutes on each side. We just want it to brown a little bit. We're going to cover it with sauce when we're done cooking the chicken. So we just want it to have a little bit of color and be cooked all the way through. These are about 1/4 inch in thickness, so you know they don't take long at all. Tell me about what's going on at school. How's Stanford? How's the equestrian team?
Oh, it's amazing. I love it. My classes are really hard, and I have a lot of work in all my classes, but it's worth it. That's why I'm going there.
The trade-off is worth it, huh? I know every time I call you or text you, you're doing homework. I'm usually doing homework too, but you have a lot of classes at once. What did you just take? What were the classes you just finished up?
I was in my writing and rhetoric class that's required for all freshmen, and then I was in Intro to Computer Science class, which is really cool.
One. Yeah, tough one though,
Yeah, our final assignment was to make our own social network like Facebook.
And you did it!
Yep.
And there's so many exceptions and so many different things, you know. It seemed like it would be really complicated.
Yeah, each assignment we had every week was about 10 to 15 hours of work.
Wow.
So it was a lot.
And then you have 4 or 5 classes going on too at the same time. Wow, that's amazing. What I thought was really interesting, Morgie, is that your rhetoric class is the rhetoric of happiness, right?
It is.
So how did that work? Was everything about being happy?
Yeah, all of the articles we read and essays we had to write had to incorporate happiness, and we also had a few happiness projects where...
Is that easy for you?
Yeah.
Being happy? Yeah. It's easy for me to be happy,
I really
too.
liked it. And we had happiness projects where we would be assigned to do things that make people happy, like secretly or using no money, and then take pictures of them, like what we did.
So it's not all about money, that's for sure. Okay, so I'm going to put some of the couscous on the plate here. And I'm going to go ahead and take the chicken. Again, we cooked it up just like a Scalo Ppine, but we're going to make a sauce out of the butter here and oil that we have in the brown little bits. So we're going to deglaze the pan. We're going to add a little bit of white wine. I'm going to say about 1/4 cup. This is my favorite white wine, Rombauer Chardonnay from Napa. You don't have to use an expensive white wine because you really can't taste the difference in the flavor when you cook it. But it's what I had open, so that's what I brought. That's what we have. And then we're also going to put in a little bit of fresh lemon juice. So let's just go ahead and squeeze it right in. I think I want about 1/3 cup for this size dish. So you squeeze and I'll squeeze. Got a couple seeds in there, no big deal. We won't eat them, we'll leave them out. And then this is chicken piccata, that's what we're making. Would you mind handing me the capers? Grab a few capers. I'm going to turn this back on because we do want to simmer it down a little bit. So we have it on high. These capers don't want to come out. The spoon's too big. So I'm going to say about a tablespoon of capers. Can't really add too many of them. You know, they're minimal flavor. They just kind of add nice texture to it and a little bit of flavor. That's what we have. We'll simmer it down real quick. And what are you thinking of taking? Well, you took yoga too, right?
Yes.
Was that fun?
Yoga. Yeah, it was really cool. I had it in the morning twice a week, so it was
the morning. You mean when the light comes out in the morning, that kind of morning?
Yeah. But it was a nice way to relax and get up early enough to actually be productive all day, because most of my other classes were in the afternoon. So it actually made me get up and do work during the day.
Yeah, that's good. It's good to get an early start. And so did you make the breakfast very often? Breakfast runs till what time during the week?
Breakfast is only till 9 a.m. And so my roommate's really good about getting up early, so she'd always get me up for breakfast.
That's good, so you can get some eggs or something in the morning. Yeah, I know if you're at home, unless Mom's making breakfast at noon, you wouldn't make it either. It's okay, when you're home you should rest up, take advantage of all those great things, you know, and eat what you want, sleep when you can, and just enjoy yourself. All right, so we have these incorporated together. I'm going to throw in a little bit of flour. That's going to thicken it up real quick here. Stir it up. Will you turn your heat off, please? Thank you. All right, we're deglazing the pan. We want to get all the little brown bits from cooking the chicken off the bottom and into the sauce. And then we're going to spoon it over the top. Maybe we cooked it down, about 50%. Took a few minutes. Here we have our chicken piccata. That looks amazing. Get some more of the capers there. Okay, that was easy. So we'll put this off to the side. Now, the next thing that we're going to make is going to be, we'll do our chicken marsala. Love chicken marsala. You know, when you go out to eat, it's served at a lot of really nice restaurants. A lot of fine dining establishments will do a chicken marsala or a veal marsala. And, you know, you go in and you go, wow, it's so good. Had to have taken them all day. Had to have been a tough thing to make. It's so simple. It's so easy. You know, it's crazy how easy it is. Just like this chicken piccata. I mean, it's sold at most fine dining places, and it takes 3 or so minutes to make it. So we're going to do the same thing. We're going to add our tablespoon of butter, tablespoon of oil. We'll let them brown and kind of mesh together here for a second. And then I think what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and put some of this brown rice, the Asian shiitake brown rice. The stuff is already cooked in the bag. All you have to do is heat it up. Great side dish for it. And instead of having, you know, the chicken next to the starch, I kind of like to build it into a mound. I think I just like the way it looks better, and it looks, you know, more professional versus at home. You know, you have your meat, you have your starch, you have your vegetable, and there are 3 little, you know, sections on the plate. I kind of like to prepare it like this because it gives it depth and just looks a little bit more appetizing. We're going to go off to a quick break. Stay with us and we'll finish it up, and we'll be right back.
You're watching Amador County's local television network, TSPN. And now back to Monday with Monique.
And we're back. Thanks for staying with us. So we were just talking about the veal piccata, or the chicken piccata we just made. We're talking about the chicken scalo ppine, and now we have the chicken marsala. We have a little bit of brown butter and olive oil. We're going to add 2/3 of a cup of marsala wine. It's a cooking wine, not necessarily a drinking wine. So it's at every store you can think of, Rayleigh, Safeway, etc. They're all going to have it. And I went ahead and added that to the pan. We're going to deglaze the pan again. Can you hand me another spoon, honey? And just pick up some of the brown bits here. Get them off the bottom. We want to cook it pretty hot because we want to reduce this down. So we'll have it on high. Smells so good. On the chicken piccata, you can always add a little extra butter on the top if you'd like. I put on a tiny little bit. Kind of just gives it a nice shiny glaze. And then we're also going to add in a little bit more of butter into the marsala wine sauce in just a minute here. And that's what's going to kind of give it a velvety texture, and that's what marsala sauce is known for, is kind of a brown velvety texture. So we're just cooking it up. We're reducing it. Grab those brown bits. So Morgan, what's on the agenda for the rest of the vacation?
I'm going to San Francisco with you next week. And family,
shopping?
Yeah, relatives' house for Christmas. I go back to school pretty early on January 3rd, right after New Year's.
And the coolest thing is I get to see you all the time. I think I probably get to see you more than when you were living at home because you're always busy, and I was always busy. But I get to San Jose a lot, usually like once a week, sometimes every other. We try to have lunch or dinner or, you know, do whatever needs to be done. And this year I think we're going to go and spend our Christmas Eve. We're German, so we celebrate on Christmas Eve at the Fairmont in San Jose with Aunt Ingrid, Aunt Susie, Kayla, my niece, her boyfriend Anthony, Steve, and Susie's friend, Susie's guy friend.
Ooh,
I know, I'm excited about that. That'll be fun. So we're just kind of cooking down this marsala. We want it to be more of a sauce texture, so we're going to cook it down quite a bit. I'm going to go ahead and throw in a little bit of flour, just a little bit, thicken it up. you add the flour in, make sure it's good and hot. Get it to incorporate in with the rest of the juices there. Looking good. And then I'm going to put the rest of the butter in. 2 tablespoons of butter. Got to do it. You know I'm health conscious, but on a Marsala sauce, you have to have lots of butter. Just what it is. And it tastes so good. So you see that there. Now you can really see the sauce coming together. You can see it thickening up. The butter really is the secret there. Nice and velvety, really good. Delicious. You want to turn that off for me, sweetie? Okay, and then we have Chicken Marsala right here. Beautiful, beautiful sauce. Look at that. Over the top of the shiitake mushroom rice. So, this is my gift to you. Happy holidays to everybody. We love being on TSPN TV. It's such a great pleasure having my daughter Morgan here to be my assistant. And now you've learned a couple new recipes. You can go share them with all those smart Stanford students.
I'm sure they'll love it.
Yeah, and I'll come down and cook for you guys too if you want.
Okay.
Thanks so much for watching TSPN TV and Mondays with Monique. Have a fabulous holiday season, and we'll see you next time.
You're watching Amador County's local television network, TSPN.